239. And I imagine if we had been paying attention, they probably did it in some of the other sections as well. But they're splitting this up. So if we have, oh, I did this again. So the standard equation for this graph, although we have two b's, they use, actually, let me just backtrack here, because they're actually using the same values that they use in grade 11 now. So it's b x minus h plus k. Okay, so now what does a do to the graph? Now we've done this numerous times with polynomials, with exponential, or with trigonometric graphs, right? What does a do to the graph? Changes all the y values by a factor of a. B does what? Divide all the x values by b. H does? No. Left to right. And k does up and down. Again, each, can't get that wrong, it's in the brackets with x.
I was looking at k.
All right. So, take a look at page 239. Y equals 2 to the x plus 3. If 2 to the x is your main graph, which way is it going to move? Up 3, that's right. Okay, y equals 2x minus 5. Which way is it going to move? Right 5. Y minus 4 equals 2x plus 1. Which way is it going to move?
Left 1 and right 4.
Left 1 and what?
I mean, up 4.
Up 4. Okay, so that graph, we would move that 4 to the other side by adding it, so it actually moves left 1 and up 4. Okay? So again, like I said, I said this morning, the difference between this course and the applied course, you're just going to use the actual graphing calculator to do this. In this course, you need to be able to remember what all the transformations are. Okay? Can we be quiet, please? I'm trying to teach here. Okay, so now take a look at page 241. So I've got y equals 2 times 3 to the x. What happens to the graph? Vertically stretch it by a factor of 2. So what does our y-intercept become then? That's right. Okay? So that does affect the graph. Because this coordinate now becomes 0 and 2 where it crosses at. Because I multiply all my y values by 2. And it goes up steeper at that point, right? Y equals 3 to the 2x. Yeah, right. So it's a horizontal stretch by a factor of a half. Okay? Does it affect my y-intercept? No, because my y-intercept is 0 and 1, right? So when I multiply the x value by 0, I still have, or by a half, I still have 0, right? So it doesn't affect it. So as a visual for you, if you're just sketching it, it's probably not going to affect the whole pile. Does my domain change? No. Does my range change? No. Okay, so none of that changes, right? Okay, so that's all that we need with that. All right, so let's take a look at another one here. I don't know why I did that, whatever. Okay, so I have y is equal to 4x is your original. So let's graph that right now. Okay, now I'm going to look at a couple key points, just because. So, here and here. All right, so this again is still 0 and 1, right? Okay? The value of x equaling 1, what is the y value? 4. So I've got 1 and 4, and then I've got 2 and what? 2 and 16, right? And then over here I have negative 1 and, that's right, negative 1 and 1/4. So I just plot in those. They're not of any use to you at the moment, but when I look at the transformations that need to be made, okay, I may want to use one of those coordinates to make sure that I have done the transformation correctly. Because realistically right now, all I have is the 0 and 1 on the graph, right? So the transformations is, the graph is this. Y equals negative 4, 1/3 x plus 2 and minus 1. Sorry, that's an answer right there. So that's x plus 2 in the brackets. Okay? All right. First thing that we do is what? Again, you have to go back to where we started the year off, and we have to know what is the process in which I do it. So what's the first thing I should do? Reflect it over which axis? Reflect it over the x-axis. That negative right there means that all of these positive values are now down here, right? Okay? Then what? So I'm going to stretch them out by 3. So this value right here, which is 1 and negative 4, is going to be what? Exactly. So this value here becomes 3 and negative 4, right? This guy doesn't change because it's 0. So I'm multiplying all my values of x by 3 because of that 1/3. Okay, so I've done the vertical, I've done the horizontal stretches and reflections. Now I do my transformation. So which way is it going to move? That's x plus 2 in the brackets. Which way is it going to move? Left 2 and then down 1. So I'm going to move this guy left 2. Right there. And then I got to shift it down 1 to right here. So 0 and 1 goes left 2 and down 1. Well, this is actually a negative 1. So then that down 1 would be to that right there. So this coordinate goes to there and minus 2 right here, right? Okay. Where does 3 and negative 4 go? Left 2 from there is 1, and down 1 is negative 5. Okay? So my graph then be here, somewhere over here. As such. Now, y-intercept. Okay, so here's the part where we've got to do some work. Okay, now I've got the y-intercept down. So what I want to do is, secondly, after I find the y-intercept, I also have an asymptote that needs to move as well. Where's my asymptote now? Because I didn't move it. Where should I have moved it? No. Down 1. Because it started right here, right? So it should have been down 1 to right there. Okay, so that's important as well. We want to make sure that's in there. Now my y-intercept is when x is 0, right? So if x is 0, 0 plus 2 is 2, right? So now I have negative 4 to the 2/3, subtract 1. And unless I can do something with it, which I can't, all right? If I could somehow reduce it and keep it as a whole, like keep it as a whole number, all right? Maybe if I had 3 over 2, I could have done something with it. I'm going to leave it like this. There's what my y-intercept's going to look like. Okay, so you don't have to do excess math on that. All right, if you're using your calculator, it would give it to you as a value, as a decimal. All right, but if you have no calculator, that's how it looks. That's what your y-intercept looks like. And that's fine. Everybody okay with that? So my y-intercept would equal negative 4, 2/3, subtract 1. Okay? And that's this coordinate right there. So the coordinates that are necessary, that y-intercept, if it does cross the x-axis, it would be an x-intercept. How could one of these graphs, how could this graph cross the x-axis? What would have to change? What value changes it so that it would have to cross the x-axis?
You could move it up.
All right, because I flipped it, if I moved it up a couple instead of down one, right? Instead of down one, if I moved it up, I would cross the x-axis, and I'd want to know where that is, where that value is.
So
Okay.
if you get one like that, do you draw it so that you only draw what's under the
Okay, well, let's do one.
0 line?
How about we do that? Okay, good. This way you get a look at it. Well, I'm going to do it a little bit different, but it'll still be the same. So let's go 2 to the x minus 4. Okay? So where does my 2 to the x go?
Get your workbooks ready.
There's 2 to the x right there, right? With an asymptote right here. Okay? Now what do I do with my 2 to the x graph? Move it down 4. So this automatically goes 1, 2, 3, 4 right to here. So there's my asymptote, right? It's now dropped down. This shouldn't look as flat as it is. There. Okay, so now, what is my y-intercept? What is it? Minus 3? Sure. And what is my x-intercept? Well played. Okay, how did you get that?
X 0 equals 2 to the x minus 1.
Yes. Right? Remember, your intercepts occur when x is 0 and y is 0, correct? So if I'm looking for the x-intercept, I make y 0. So I put y 0 here. Like that. Add 4. And what? X equals 2. Well, how do you get that?
Guess and check.
Guess and check? No. This one is different. Why? Because what is this? That's 2 squared, isn't it? Isn't 4 2 squared? So therefore, x would have to equal 2 if they're equal on both sides. Right? So that's that. Guess and check would work for you. But there is a math way of doing this, a mathematical way of solving for that. So there you go. So there's where I would have an x-intercept, and I'd want to put that in. Okay? And then that's all we have for today. 7-2. Okay, any questions so far? What about yesterday? Any questions from yesterday? No? Okay. We have the rest of the day to do 7-2.